To remain updated with the latest business news, click on the bell icon.
Joining us today, Mr. Prashant Kumar, MD and CEO, Yes Bank. Prashant, great to have you with us here on Business Today. A good set of numbers, of course. Take us through where the growth has been coming from this quarter, how the credit offtakes have been, which verticals you're seeing performing well.
So as part of our strategy, we actually want to make the entire loan book very granular. So the focus was more on the retail and MSME. And the proportion of retail and MSME has gone to now 57%. And we want to take it to 60%. So we are on the track, but I think it's moving very fast. And in that effort, we are also deleveraging our corporate. So we are also deleveraging, and the corporates are also deleveraging their balance sheets. So they are also paying to the banks. So we are seeing a very good growth on the retail and MSME. Retail is actually growing at 25% plus. MSME is also growing around 15%. And the mid-market segment of corporate is growing at 40%. So only the large corporate where there is an issue in terms of growth. And we as a strategy also don't want to grow very aggressively. But I think otherwise we are seeing a very good growth. And this quarter we have disbursed almost 19,000 crores of fresh loans.
All right, that's interesting. Now, on the other end, NPAs, are the recoveries going slow? What's the issue there? Because while operations seem to be coming back on track, on the NPA front, the levels are still on the higher side.
Levels are high because of the legacy issue. We inherited very, very large loan book. Last year also we recovered more than 5,000 crores. So this year also it would be exceeding the last year number. The issue is more in terms of the entire, say, the legal process. It takes very, very long time, including NCLT, the court and all those things. And as a regulated entity, naturally you have to follow through a process which takes time. But keeping in view all these challenges, what we are also trying to do, we are trying to set up a ARC. And yeah,
that'll actually take a substantial amount of NPAs that are currently in the book. So what's that process looking like? When do you see that happening?
So we invited expression of interest from some of the stress asset players. We got interest from very large international stress asset players. Okay. And currently we are in the process of shortlisting. So I think by next month we would be able to, say, finalize our partner in this. So we are trying to conclude the entire transaction by March end or maybe first quarter of the next financial year, if there is any delay. And then the entire, say, NPA book of the bank would be shifted to the ARC. And the bank would be like a 0% NPA.
Okay. All right. That's significant. Net interest income down 31%. What was the reason for that this time?
So actually, this is not comparable. So if you recall last year, because of the Honorable Supreme Court order, NPAs were recognized only in the fourth quarter. So up to quarter 3, we were booking income on the entire book. Whereas this year, it's a continuous recognition of the NPAs. So the comparable figures would be when we would end the year. So at the end of the fourth quarter, that would be comparable. But if you take that part out, we are seeing a good growth on the net interest income also.
Okay. And non-interest income, if we take a look on that front, that one actually plunged. Why so steep?
So last year, because interest rates were going down, we had a treasury income of around 450 crores. Okay. So that was an extraordinary item. Otherwise, on the non-interest income also there is a, and now interest rates are going up. So you can't have the treasury income.
Okay. And on provisions, there's some insight, they have come down this time around.
So provisions have come down, and I think this trajectory would continue because on the legacy book, we already have the 80% provisioning. So you don't require much provisioning on that. And since slippage are coming down significantly, so I think our credit cost going forward would be less than 1%.
Okay. So essentially, overall, you're saying that with interest rates coming back up, Of course, the NPAs will take their time, but you've got the ARC that you're planning and the transference over there. And in certain segments that you said, retail and SME, for instance, that's where you're going to see a little bit more growth going forward. Would that be a good way to sum it up?
No, absolutely.
Okay. And overall, in terms of, the kind of market share, and like you said, there has been a very sort of long process in terms of coming out of the legacy issues. But how do you see Yes Bank, the kind of response you're getting and the kind of, the kind of applications for loans, even in the retail category? What's the kind of sense of the pickup, the kind of momentum you're looking at, even now post the worst of COVID perhaps being over, or still some uncertainty continuing?
So first time ever, say the entire balance sheet has grown now more than 3 lakh crores.
Okay.
And another important part, like our market share on both deposit and loans is 1%, right? But if you see the incremental growth, on the incremental side, our market share on the deposit has gone to 3.5%. Okay. And on the loan side, this is 5%. So incrementally, our share in the market is now improving.
Okay.
Even on the deposit side, in the month of December, we have added 1 lakh new customers to the bank. Normally, bank was adding something around 30,000 kind of thing in a month, but this trajectory continues to increase. And December was 1 lakh, and I think going forward, it would be more than 1 lakh every month.
Okay. Given the current scenario and the economy kind of gradually coming back, do you feel that there are any expectations this time, whether it be from the budget or in terms of any other incentives that you feel might help to propel demand?
No, I think this is very important, because I think the way the government and Reserve Bank of India has supported in last 2 years, I think that is absolutely fabulous. But this year also from the budget, because now the issue remains in terms of how we can support the demand. And this demand can be only supported if you put more money into the hands of the consumer. Okay. So it means one thing would be definitely more job creation, and also how the money can be available to the individual person. Now for job creation, I think the continuous support for the MSME is something which is important. And also support to some of the sectors like construction and real estate, which generates a very large number of employment. And this also actually adds to the revenue sharing for the government. Government gets a lot of taxes. So I think that construction and real estate is one sector which actually helps in both the ways, getting more employment and also getting more revenue for the government. And MSME also, not only they generate employment, they contribute almost 1/3 to our GDP. And another part would be definitely like governments give the relief to the corporate by way of tax incentive. And I think this time, if those kind of tax reliefs can be given to the individual taxpayers. So individuals would be having more cash. And if that can be used for, say, demand, then I think we would be seeing more capacity utilization for corporate, and that would also propel the private investment. So I think from the demand side, we need to address this issue.
All right, Prashant, thank you so much for joining us, taking the time out. Great speaking with you, and good to see things coming back on track.
Thank you so much.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.